Hey guys, this is Mr. Beckstrom, and today is Thursday, September 10th. Unfortunately, I had to cancel the Wednesday, September 9th virtual class meeting at the last minute. I am so sorry about that. Both my monitors went blank about 30 minutes before class started. It was crazy. I was online with tech support, and I couldn't get anything to start up. It was a nightmare, and everything that I had for that class was on this computer. So there's not anything I could do. I had to find a laptop just to be able to get you guys a message. Um, anyways, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do some sample problems from the homework in section 1.5 that we're working on. And I'm also going to schedule a makeup class for this weekend. It's not going to be mandatory. I'm going to send out an announcement for that. But if you do have some questions and you want to come, because there is going to be let me go ahead and pull that up. There is going to be a test coming up, and that is going to be on, this is test one. This is September 17th. Now you still have a full week for that, and we will have another class on September 16th, the night before that, so we'll be able to do another review session. But if you don't want to wait till the last minute to ask questions, you can go ahead and come to this review session that I'll be setting up for this weekend. Once again, it'll be voluntary. If nobody shows up in the first 10 minutes of it, I'll probably end up logging out. But if I do have some people coming to asking questions, well, I'll stick around until everybody's questions are answered, and I haven't set up a time for that, but I'll come up with that. It'll probably be sometime Saturday morning. That's usually the time that most people at least have some time off from work and stuff. And if that's not a good time for you and you want to set up a virtual meeting with me, you can do that as well. Just let me know in email when some good times are for you. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 11 to noon. So those are the best times to get me. All right. So let's take a look at a problem here. This is from the homework. And let's see how we would go about trying to solve this one. So it says a CB radio is rated 7.5 watts, and actual measurements show that it delivers 6.9 watts to its antenna. What is its efficiency? So the idea here is that it says that the very most the CB is going to be able to do, that's going to be its input, is 7.5 watts. But the actual output that it's going to deliver, so that's the actual amount that it's being able to output, is going to be 6.9 watts. So its output should always be less than its input, because the input's going to be its maximum, and the output's going to be something less than that maximum. What is its efficiency? So we have to have some kind of formula, and since we're in the ratio and proportions section of our book, chances are it's going to be some kind of ratio and proportion. So what I would do is I would look in section 1.5, and I would find a formula that uses efficiency. And sure enough, page 63, I have this. And it says that I can use this formula to calculate either output, input, or efficiency using this nice little proportion here. So let's set it up and do our thing. All right, so I know I'm looking for the efficiency, and it says type a whole number or an exact decimal if the decimal does not terminate, round to one decimal place. All right, I know I'm trying to find the efficiency, so I'll just leave that as E over there, because that's my efficiency. And that's going to be 100 over here. And then on this side, we said that input, that's what we're rated at. That's the highest possible value. So that's 7.5, or the higher of the two numbers there. And the output, that's actually what we're physically, the number that we're actually able to send. So that would be 6.9. So 6.9. Now we could put watts on the top and the bottom, but those units are just going to cancel out, so I'm just going to leave them off there. And then this is what we're going to solve. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So I should put the 7.5 first. So 7.5 times E is equal to 6.9 times 100. So that's just 690. And then divide both sides by the 7.5, 7.5, and the 7.5. And then here's where I will need my calculator. All right, so I'm going to have 690 divided by 7.5, 7.5, and we're going to get 92. So in this case, E is equal to 92. So that's going to give us a 92% efficiency. All right, the next problem here says, what sales tax at a rate of 8.5% must you pay on the purchase of a computer hard disk drive costing $251.25? So the sales tax is what? So we did this a couple of different ways when we were in the virtual class the last time. But let's go ahead and use the actual formula that it gives us in the book here. Okay, if we look at page 57, we're going to find a little sales tax proportion. And it says the sales tax over the list price is equal to the tax rate over 100. So here we are given the tax rate of 8.5. We are given the list price of 251.25. We're asked for the sales tax. So let's go ahead and do that. So once again, we're going to go ahead and set up our little proportion here. So we know this is always going to be 100 over here. The tax rate is 8.5. I can write that as 8.5. Let's see how we're going to use our calculator to do that. So I can just convert that fraction here to a decimal. I wouldn't want to do that if it was a repeating decimal, but because it's not a repeating decimal, if you just do 1 divided by 2, because that's what 1/2 is, you get the 0.5. So I can convert that 1/2 to a 0.5 there. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to have the sales tax over the list price. So the list price was $251.25, and after we do this long way here, we're going to look at an easier way of figuring this out. And then on top, this is going to be the sales tax, so I'm just going to call this S for sales tax. So when I cross multiply and divide, I'm going to get S, well I should say 100 times S is equal to 8.5 times that thing, 251.25. So once again, I am going to have, all right, was 8.5, so 8.5 times 251.25. All right, and that is 2135. So 2135, and I think it keeps 0.625. 0.625. All right, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 100. And dividing by 100 is just going to move our decimal place 2 places to the left. So our sales tax S is equal to 21 point, this is round to the nearest cent, so that's going to be 3, and it's not going to be a 5 because we have a 6 to the right of it. So if this here is a 5 or higher, we round it up, so it's going to be 21.36. So that should be our sales tax on that. Now there's an easier way to do this. We can also put this over here. We could have also just converted this percent to a decimal, which is just moving that decimal place 2 to the left. So that's 0.085 because normally the decimal place is right here. So this is 8.5, move it 2 to the left, that's 0.085. And we could have just multiplied that by the 251.25, 251.25, And notice that that one calculation would have given us this final answer without going through this whole proportion as well. But proportions are much better in other problems that we're going to look at. All right. All right, now let's take a look at another problem here. This one says a poster was reduced in size by 19%. By what percent must it then be increased in size in order to restore it to its original size? And pick any arbitrary number. Arbitrary means any number that's easy to deal with. To represent the original size and then work the problem. Now, just looking at this, we might be inclined to say, well, if we reduce it by 19% and then increase it by 19%, we would be back to the original size, but we would not be. Because 19% of the original size is not the same amount as 19% of the smaller size. Think of it this way. 50% of 100 is 50. 50% of 50 is 25. So those are two different values. So we have to actually just pick some value and then see what percent that we're going to need to increase it by in order to get back to the original amount. All right, so we need to find some proportion that uses increases and decreases and percentages of increase and decrease, that kind of thing. And we're going to find it on page 66. And it looks like this. All right, so they said, they give us a hint. They said, go ahead and start with some arbitrary value. So when we're talking about percentages, the easiest value to start by is 100. So let's say we had a poster that was 100 square inches. 100 square inches. And if we reduced that by 19%, well, what's 19% of 100 square inches? That's easy. That is 19 square inches. So we reduced it by 19 square inches. Notice I picked 100 because that's easy to take any percentage of because it's just that number. So 19% of 100 is 19. And our new poster is now 81 square inches. All right. Now, it says, by what percent must it then be increased in size in order to restore it to its original size? So we need to find what percentage to increase it in size. So that's going to be this part over here on the top right of that. So we're going to have over here, we're going to have 100 on the bottom. We're going to try to figure out this part over here. Let's just call that P for now. You can call it anything you want. And over here, our original amount now is 81 because this is the size of our new poster. And the amount of increase or decrease is now going to be that 19. Is now going to be that 19. So we need to figure out how do we get back to 100, to 100 square inches? All right, so cross multiply and divide. So if you cross multiply and divide, you're going to get, I'm going to do this in the same one step now. So normally I've been doing it in two, but we should be getting comfortable enough that we can just do it in one. So you multiply these two things together and then you divide by the 81. So it should be 1900, that's 19 times 100 divided by 81, and that is, let me bring my calculator over here. Okay, clear. So 1900 divided by 81 is, and it says round to one decimal place. So that's going to be 23.5%. So that's going to be 23.5%. So notice that we reduced it by 19%, but then it took 23.5% to get it back to its original amount. So that's how we set those up, and that's how we solve those. So that's the answer for that. Okay, for this last problem, I'm going to use the quick method for calculating percentages. And this is on page 56 in the book. And so the problem says supplier X offers a mechanic part of 35% off the retail price of $67.40, and supplier Y offers them the same part at 20% over the wholesale cost of $35.70. Which is the better deal and by how much? All right, so let's work this out here. So let's start with X. So X, this mechanic, so first of all, we need to figure out 35% of $67.40. So using the quick method, we're just going to convert that 35% to a decimal by moving the decimal place 2 places to the left, and then multiplying the list price there. So 67.4, and that's going to equal, all right, so 0.35 times 67.4, 7.4, all right, $23.59, so $23.59. Now this is the amount that he is going to take off of the retail price. So now we're going to have to take that retail price, $67.40, and we're going to have to subtract the amount that he's going to take off, the $23.59, and our final price is going to be 67.4 minus 23.59, $43.81. $43.81. All right, so this is going to be the cost of the mechanic part at supplier X. Now let's go ahead and take a look at supplier Y over here. So first of all, we need to use that quick method to figure out what 20% of $35.70 is. So once again, we're going to convert that 20% to a decimal by moving the decimal place to the left. We're going to multiply it by that list price, 35.7, and that's going to equal 0.2 times 35.7. So 0.2 times 35.7. That's $7.14. And this is going to be 20% over the wholesale cost. Remember, the wholesale cost is how much he pays. So then we're going to have to add that. So we're going to take the $35.70. We're going to add this amount that he's going to charge over that. So $7.14. And we can probably do that one by hand. So that's 8.24. So this mechanic Y is going to charge $42.84. So which one is the better deal? The better deal is mechanic Y. How much is the better deal by? Well, we have to look at the difference of those. So let's go ahead and pull up the difference. And that I'll use my calculator. I can do that by hand as well, though. I can do 43.81 minus 42.84. And that is going to be 97 cents. So mechanic Y is a better value by 97 cents. All right, guys. So this is all I'm just going to go through today. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'm going to send out an announcement soon with the makeup day for a voluntary session for you to come to ask any questions since we missed yesterday. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great week.